right, guys, we are ending a week that was full of news. Last week, we had so many numbers and so much data that came out. I believe that the market needed an opportunity to process it. We did not see a lot of volume in the stock market last week, but I think that this week we could start seeing things ramp up. So I am cautious about this week. I'm not sure if we're going to start seeing any downtrends, but I am going to be looking at the charts and seeing what looks best. All right, well, let's get into it. This is Margie, and welcome to Money, Stocks, and Trades. I'm going to go over my outlook and take on the market for this upcoming week and things that I will be looking at in my strategy. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's look at the charts.
So the first thing I do when I'm getting ready for the week to prepare for trading is I go to investing.com. This is free. I find the economic calendar and I sort it only for the events that are coming out for the week in the US news for the United States. It's going to be quite a few countries that are automatically marked, but we come here. So looking at Monday, not extremely high news, but some medium news, if you will. And how you tell what's significant is by the stars. So this star right here, star is not as important as something that would have three stars. Stars are maybe something to watch if you're in real estate, but it's kind of something to watch as well, but it may not move or affect the market as much. But here on Wednesday, we have crude oil inventories, especially if you trade futures or in oil products. The FOMC meeting minutes, though, it's something that investors are going to want to read and kind of outlook of what the Fed's decision may be doing, what their meeting had. Now, Thursday is high news. We do have the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and the initial jobless claims. So we have high news on Thursday and high news on Friday. So S&P Global, we have the PMI that's coming out on Friday. I believe we had CPI last week. All right. So after that, I go on over to TradingView and I look at the charts. And what you're looking at here is a weekly chart of the SPY. I start marking levels. I believe this blue level it's not sure if it's from like monthly candle. Sorry. But let's go back and see we're in the month. Yeah, as you can see on the monthly candle made all-time highs. We'll have to see how the month of August closed, but we definitely had a nice push up so far. So I usually start, if I've never charted a stock before, I usually start on the monthly, but of course I've traded SPY before. So that's why I have lines, but here we seem to be kind of out on the weekly. So we had this big green candle push up. We can see it back tested my blue line a little bit, but it didn't have that much volume. So last week we didn't have much volume in the market, and it's showing on this candle. Whenever you see like big momentum candle like this, I'm looking for it to be at least another big momentum candle following, which makes me feel that the up move or the uptrend is now I know it's been waiting on time highs, but here's what I'm going to do. This small little candle right here is just the start of this week. Now I do chart something in the future. So I use a futures market chart, and even though I'm trading SPY. So what that does is it gives me overnight data, and it lets me know what the market is doing overall. So I don't want you to get confused. I am saying SPY, but not the SPY ticker symbol, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually draw a line at the top of last week's candle, at the top of the wick, and I'm going to move it down so you can see it, and then adjust it a little bit because it's not quite on there correctly. That might be a little better. All right, so here's my take. If we get a break above this wick, it could be bullish. I'm not sure that I would take calls there, but we'll see what the momentum is and what the volume is looking like. For me, I would also need kind of close below this to kind of get inputs. Now you can get inputs early, but that's what I'd be waiting on. Some coming to the bottom of this. Now some people are wick people, some people are candle people. It doesn't really matter. Just what you're comfortable, how you're comfortable drawing your bodies of your camera candles. If you like the body better or the wick better, it doesn't matter. So I'm watching this week's candle to kind of it does. Are we gonna have a break below this? This is a very early entry. I'd be careful because we could bounce at 7,741 level. We could bounce and then go back up, or we can break it and go down. But this candle right here is a larger candle. Some people trade saying that we could look for a 50% retracement. So somewhere around here, maybe a take profit. I'm going to turn that one. Let's see. Oh, if I can turn the color. Guess I'd put it. That doesn't really pop, does it? And that doesn't either. So this may be levels where I start if I start taking profit. So there is a theory of a 50% retracement of a candle. And we can see this wick right here pull back and it didn't really retrace. I'm not really seeing a really good setup on the weekly of something that I'd be comfortable with. So I'm gonna go a little further down on the daily. And I'm going to take some of these off so that I don't see them on lower time frames, but I only see them on the weekly time frame that I initially had. Okay, that looks a lot cleaner. Now here on the daily for the S&P, I'm wondering, am I seeing a trend line? And I'm not drawing my candles. I'm not drawing it perfectly right now, but I am seeing some type of trend here. Okay. So we could go back up and touch the top of this box, or we could have a pull back to around 7,761 and then reverse. So these are some trades. But again, we could go from, so we closed at 7,794. And we could come here as our first stop, 7,759. Or we could come on down to the blue line. If we break that blue line on the daily, I would be comfortable with entering put to take profit of this red line. And this red line is what I drew earlier because it is half of that bigger candle that we saw on the daily. Now, we do need to take notice here on the daily that there's actually a gap that can be filled or that needs to be filled on this daily time frame. So that would be another take profit area for me that I would look at. It's not shaded in. I'm sorry. Let's see if we can get this box shade in. Oh, well, I guess I'm not a good shader enough. Anyway, you can see this box. I'm not sure what's going on tonight, but this box right here is a gap. So my first take profit levels again. And this is not a suggestion for you to do anything. I'm just charting. We could stop here. We could stop at the blue line. We could stop before the red line. So we could stop right about here just because the candles seem to be making a base there. Let me find the trend line. So you see right here, you always look left to see what the stock market, see what the candles are saying, what it did. Let me pull it up a little bit. The bottom of that. So that's potential stop. Okay. So potential area to take profit. Candle did close right here. So that's another potential area. And for me, I would be looking for some type of bounce around this zone on a daily time frame. So that's the best case scenario for me for puts. I'm not interested in calls just because if we did any calls, I would only be looking at the psychological level of 8,000. So if it's just extremely bullish, I would be looking for a break above this box right here. Excuse me. Yeah, this line. If if we were going to be extremely bullish, it would have to have a candle close above this white line to get back there. And a really nice candle with volume. Yep. So that's my outlook for the S&P. Not really looking at many stocks. So on the daily, I had this line or this box drawn on Tesla. It still needs to fill the gap. We can see that on Friday, there's a very faint candle, but it did wick up and down, but closed beneath the box. So this is a gap down that I am watching and waiting to be filled. It bounced off of this line here. I had a trend line and a box, and let me see if I can go out to the out. So this is what it looks like on the weekly candle. I had a double cross. I had trend line as well as this line here, which was a support or resistance line. And I also had this candle. This is a bullish candle for me, a bullish reversal. And so I guess that's three confluences that we would have an up move. And so for the last 2 weeks, it has been bullish. And this is an example of what I was talking about on the SPY. So if you have a long candle, usually you can see a 50% retracement. And because we had a wick here, this would actually be about 50%. Some people measure, sometimes I just guess. So this right here would be about 50%. I'm just putting it yellow so you can see retracement of this candle. So the question then becomes, is this truly a reversal or was it a dead cat bounce? Is it going, a dead cat bounce means that when something falls very hard, it bounces up before it kind of goes flat, sharp down. Okay. Now that we have this 50% retracement, I'd be watching to see if the market is going to continue in its downtrend or was this truly a reversal? With again, is it a dead cat bounce or is it truly a reversal back and it's going to come back and finish its up move? And what I have marked is this white line right here. So I do have Tesla on my watch list just to see how things are going. I'm not big on trading it right now, but I do have it marked that it's been in a channel and it's continuing on that channel. And I have my lines marked if you're interested in AMD. It's channeling. You have to be careful with channels, but yes, it's following its regular trend and going back up to the top of the box. But again, I am not looking at AMD. I am very interested in MSTR, like the channel or the little box that it's in. It is one strategy is a stock that I like looking at for Bitcoin exposure and now or cryptocurrency, well mainly Bitcoin is kind of in a bit of a or up and down phase. So I had the top of my range at 104.56 and the bottom at about 89.25. And then I had more tighter ranges in between. Sometimes that can be easy money, but you have to buy enough time so that the move can actually play out in the market. So that's the daily time frame. On the weekly, it looks really choppy. You wouldn't be in that unless you're doing. Anytime candles are like this, that means there's a low volume. Wouldn't play around with it. If you can't stomach the risk, it is going to be a risk. It's one of those, excuse me, y'all, I have so many lines on my chart, but Apple is one of those nice charts, if you will. The candlestick patterns are pretty, they behave and they respect support and resistance lines. But I've been marking this up really crazy. I have not been trading Apple. Not something that I've been interested in trading, but I'm just going through the charts on the Sunday like I normally do, just to kind of what I will continue to watch. I haven't really been into Meta. It has been quite the chop. But if you're interested in the ranges, just kind of bounced off of this trend line. And if we can close above my white line, which is about 603, if we can close above 602.78, or even better, if we can close above 613.05, then we could, or actually, this is a crazy box. Even better, if we can close above 621.7, then we could see a 667.64. But again, it's a lot of chop. Lily was something else that I had marked up. It seems to be taking forever to go in whichever direction it wants to go. And so that's an overall theme in the stock market, which means that there needs to be some type of major movement. All right. So I'm going to drag this out a little bit. And actually, this may be looking good for it to fall to the bottom of the channel. So I may look for puts to $1,140.51. Lily, I'll add that to my watch list. I'm not sure that I'll take it yet, but that looks like a potentially clean setup if this scenario is right. Again, nothing I'm saying this is a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell, but I'm just charting for the week. Okay, Q's broke out of the box a little bit. Let's go back up on the weekly. Yeah, this is actually cute. So I'll just be seeing if we'll have a back test and we can hold that, or if we're going to drop back down into the channel. Not really sure what NTC is doing. So we went up a little bit, as you can see on Friday, with these two candles closing pretty close together. Some weakness. Everyone's favorite in DK. Let me know if you're trading it. So it looks like there's a type of trend line that's been formed. I'm going to go up into a little higher time frame. Okay, could be coming on the top of a descending channel. And I'll probably have to mark it up for you to see it. Now this is a perfect mark. I'm marking it really fast so your eyes can kind of what I'm seeing. So it's definitely not perfect. What I do. It's definitely not perfect, but the question is whether this upcoming week is going to break above this descending channel or if it's going to come back down to try to find the low of the channel. Interesting thing to watch. So I would just watch it. Dell has been ranging or consolidated ever since the big move up. So we're just continuing to see what it's going to do. It did break above this kind of box. So I'm going to just watch it to see if we're going to come back and test the box for a stronger move up, or is it ready for a pullback? And again, you are welcome to go to the top of the wicks if you like, the bottom of the wicks, the candle bodies, however your trading strategy is. So I think that's about it. I'm not really, not too bad. A nice descending channel. So again, the question is the same for Walmart. The small close above the channel, but will there be volume and momentum to continue in an uptrend, or is it ready for continue in the channel for another pullback down to closer lower 100s, about 104.35 potentially is where I'm seeing kind of port. Oh, and Amazon. So Amazon actually doesn't look extremely bad for me. On the weekly chart, I may be looking for some puts. And what do you know? When you come down on the lower time frame, you learn more of the story. So there actually is a gap here that needs to be filled. And so the question of me is whether we're going to have a red candle that is going to come into this box and fill the gap, or is it going to bounce off the top of this block box and continue bullish? Wow. So I'm liking that. I will move that to the top of my watch list just to watch it to see what happens. And again, guys, I'm not taking trades on all of these things. I'm just charting so that I can see if I see something that I am interested in. Five. I like that we're getting to the top of this range. It bounced off of my trend line and it went and hit the top. So I'm wondering if we are due or set for a reversal. Wow, that's a small candle. Yeah, have to close. For me, I'd like a close above $20.13 to really see or believe that we are continuing to the upside. Right now, it looks like we're in a period of consolidation. This is a consolidation box. And so I would be looking or watching, where I am looking or watching to see if we pull down and continuing the consolidation move to the downside. So for any puts this week. Excuse me, guys. I have my charts marked up from another. Looks like we have a trend line. I'm not interested in trading hood, but I like that it's respecting this kind of trend line right here. So we'll keep that marked. Okay, it's so far already. Rocket Lab doesn't look bad, just not sure what it wants to do. Almost look like it may be starting to form some type of head and shoulders pattern. So I would just continue to watch it. Nothing that I would want to do with it right now. Looks like I missed the move. If there was one, I missed it. I'm not interested in chasing it, FOMOing into it. Just wait on another setup. Again, we've already did MSTR. Okay, is yeah.
I didn't mean to make that video so long, but that is it. Thanks for hanging with me, looking in the charts and seeing what I am looking at for the upcoming week. Hope that was helpful. Hopefully, you gained some insight on, charting looks like. If you chart the same way, if you do something different, other strategies, let me know. That's kind of how I run through the charts to find out what I'm looking at for the week. But overall, again, I still believe that I'm waiting for the market to have some type of reversal, some type of cool off or pullback. Not sure what we will see until that happens. We could see some more bullish or upside momentum. We could see low volume. The stock market waits on the decision this week with the numbers that's coming out, as well as the other high news event. Either way it goes, I'll be paying attention to the charts and what they are telling me. I will continue to go through my watch list to see what's happening. And that is it. I hope to see you all in the next video. Again, please don't forget to like or to subscribe. Please share with someone who you think could use this information and it be helpful. Let me know what you're trading this week. I look forward to hearing from you all. All right. Y'all be blessed. Bye.